Hello, my name is Genesis Alvarado, and today I'll be doing a spoken script about understanding the death penalty. My purpose is to inform. What if the government decided that crime deserved death? Already messed up. That is not just a historical idea, it is a legal punishment that's still used today, even in the United States. The death penalty, also known as capital punishment, is one of the most controversial topics in modern criminal justice. It raises complicated questions about the law, fairness, and human rights. In this speech, I'll give an overview of how the death penalty is used, the arguments people make for and against it, and some of the key legal and ethical concerns surrounding it. I gathered information from three major organizations that researched this issue: Amnesty International, the Death Penalty Information Center, and Equal Justice Initiative. We'll look into three main points. The first one being human rights and problems with the system, common arguments on both sides. Last, how executions are carried out and the legal concerns involved. Let's start with the human rights concerns and how the death penalty is applied in the US. According to the Equal Justice Initiative, more than 200 people have been freed from death row since 1937, 1973, after being convicted wrongfully. That means they were sentenced to death after they were proven guilty. Another issue is unequal access to legal defense. People who cannot afford good lawyers may not get fair trials or enough help to defend themselves. This is especially important in death penalty cases where the stakes are literally life and death. Race also plays a role. Studies show that people of color are more likely to be sentenced to death, especially when the victim is white. This pattern raises questions about fairness and bias in the system. Now let's look at the reasons people give for and against death penalty. These arguments have been debated for a long time. Supporters of the death penalty often say it acts as a deterrent. It might discourage others from committing serious crimes. Others believe retribution, that certain crimes are so serious, the only punishment is death. On the other hand, opponents point out several concerns. One of the biggest is the risk of executing an innocent person. Once someone is executed, that mistake cannot be undone. There is also the cost. Research showed that death penalty cases are often more expensive than life imprisonment due to longer trials, more appeals, and extra legal procedures. And finally, critics argue the system is not applied fairly. Factors like income, race, and even mental status can affect who ends up in death row. Some also point out that the death penalty doesn't clearly reduce crime more than other punishments like the life in prison. Now let's talk about how executions are carried out and some of the legal rules around them. In the US, the most common method is lethal injection, but some states also allow methods like electrocution, firing squad, and gas chamber under certain circumstances. Some executions have been delayed or changed because of drug shortages or legal challenges. International human rights laws say you shouldn't execute someone who were children at the time of their crime or people with severe mental illnesses. But according to the Equal Justice Initiative, these protections aren't always enforced consistently. As you see, the death penalty is more than just laws. It brings up major issues about justice, fairness, and human rights. Supporters argue it brings justice and deterrence. Critics worry about the cost, mistakes, and unfair treatment. Whether someone supports it or opposes it, understanding how it works and the issues around it is important. It helps us think what kind of justice system we want and what values we think are most important. So I'll leave you with this question. Is the death penalty something a fair system should do? Thank you.